I think we're ready to go. So let's do our second Q&A video. What's up, guys? I'm Phil, and I'm glad to see you guys are writing even more comments on the YouTube channel. It's pretty awesome. So I'll be answering all these comments, guys, and questions that you have. Well, not all of them. We're doing a few in this video. We'll save more for the next video. But it's really awesome seeing you guys' comments and questions come in on the channel. So here we go. Question number 1. This one comes from Zeus Modi on my video for how to play Imagine Me by Kirk Franklin. And Zeus Modi asks, can you do how to play I Know I'm Not the Only One by Sam Smith, please? Okay, thanks Zeus Modi for your question. I'll tell you that there is a specific page, a website that we've created, call it a form, that you can request our next songs. And I'll show you exactly where that is. You can go in the description of any YouTube video, by the way. We'll go to the one that you asked this question on, Imagine Me. Hey everyone, welcome back to Playground Sessions YouTube channel. There I am. I'm Phil. So if you go down to the description, and you can see all these links down here, right? All sorts of different resources that you guys can use and take advantage of to help learn piano. Right towards the top, we see Request Our Next Video Lessons here. So I'll click on that link, and you'll see where it takes us. A song request form. So you can type in anything here. You can type in, I Know I'm Not the Only One by Sam Smith. And we're going to say that this is from Zeus Modi on YouTube. And we're going to add it to our master list of requests. So to answer your question, Zeus Modi, yes, I will add this one to our list. But in the future, if you have requests that you'd like to make beyond this song, anytime you want, go to this song request form, simply type in what you want us to teach you, and we'll add it to our list. All right, guys, question number 2 today comes from at DJ Caramello 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 Caramello. This person asks, on my video for how to play River Flows in You by Yuruma, this person comments, your software is good, but I'm 40 years old. I am too old to learn all these notes and finger positions and chords and so on. I might perhaps choose drums or something. I'm investigating now as we speak. Well, DJ, I'm just going to call you DJ if that's all right. I've got a couple things to say in response to this comment. First, thanks for writing in. I'll first say that on YouTube, I do certain songs in the advanced level, certain songs on the intermediate level, and certain songs at the rookie level. There's a couple reasons that I do that. The main reason is to make sure that I'm teaching the biggest group of people possible. Not everyone is one difficulty level, so I'm trying to give everybody something. And the video that you commented on saying, you wanted to learn, but now that you see it, you're feeling like that's too tough, too much to learn, you might be too old to do it. I'll say that that specific video, that Yuruma River Flows in You video, is an advanced level song section. So first I might tell you to consider exploring the intermediate level playlist or the rookie level playlists on YouTube. And briefly what I'll do is I'll show you how to navigate that stuff. So on any video, DJ, you can click in the description, and I'm going to go ahead and find the video that you commented on, and that was River Flows in You. Let's open up the video's description. We're going to click Show More so you can see all of the links in here. About halfway through, we can browse song lessons by difficulty level. So there's a playlist for rookie, a playlist for intermediate, a playlist for advanced. Let's just click rookie for now. I'm going to click on that playlist. And you're going to see all of these different tutorial videos so far that I've taught on the YouTube channel that are all from the rookie level arrangements in our song store. There's a bunch, and I'm constantly adding to it. And you can also see if we hit back to the description on River Flows in You, I'll click the intermediate playlist as well. You can see all of these lessons that have intermediate level song sections that I break down for you. There's actually a lot more intermediate at the moment, and that's because that's kind of the standard middle ground difficulty level. But I'm constantly adding more rookie as well. So first I'll say, try some easier lessons on YouTube before you make the decision or come to the conclusion that you can't do it. Don't start on advanced. The second thing I'll say is, your desire to maybe try drums instead, I understand you're probably coming from a place where you want to try something a little easier. But I would caution you, DJ, and I would say that drums aren't necessarily easier. In some ways maybe it is, in other ways it might be harder, so it just depends. But I will also say that all instruments, no matter how easy they may seem, definitely require a lot of practice and effort up front before you start to see results. And finally, what I'll say is, regardless of what instrument you want to learn, DJ, 40 years old is definitely not too old to learn. We've got plenty of students in our app who are 60s, 70s, even 80s who are practicing and getting better and getting scores and getting badges unlocked, and they're really progressing through Playground. In my experience as a piano teacher, for over 10 years working one-on-one in person with students, and then another over 5 years or so now of teaching in the online space, I will say that it all comes down to how much can you sit down and practice per week. Can you sit down for 5 minutes a day? Can you sit down for 3 days a week at 30 minutes a session? Can you sit down for an hour a session? No matter how much you can put to it, you will see progress, but how fast you see that progress will depend on how much you can put in per week. If you can put in a little bit per day, DJ, I promise you will see results quicker than you expect. All right, question number 3 comes from ISI Parton 117 on my lesson for how to play the theme song from the Game of Thrones. This person says, I'm actually a guitar player and I liked to add piano just for this song, but I'm sure there's still a lot of material I can use. So let me talk a little bit about this. ISI Parton 117, thanks for starting the conversation about this. I'm going to expand a bit and elaborate. You're asking about these piano lesson videos and whether there's value for people who play other instruments besides the piano. You're a guitarist, but you watched this video on the Game of Thrones lesson, and you say there's still stuff for you to take away here. So that's great news. What I'll say about that is, it depends on the lesson. Some lessons are very specific to the piano that we teach here on the YouTube channel. So I may teach you a lesson on piano chords, and I'm going to say things like, use your 5, 3, and 1 finger, and things like that, right? That applies to the piano. Those are the fingers we're going to use to play the keys on the piano. Those aren't the fingers you would use, for example, ISI Parton, to play that same chord on a guitar. The shape's going to look different. The order of the notes, right, or the voicing of the chord might look a little different. The range might be different. And the fingers you use to play them will definitely be different. So in that particular example, you may not be able to apply my direct lesson in that moment to your guitar. But I will say that as a whole, I mentioned earlier in my response to another question as well, that the piano is the standard instrument for learning music theory. No matter what instrument you play, and yes, there is theory for each instrument that is specific to that instrument, but at the starting level, music theory, stuff that applies across all instruments, we use a picture of the keyboard as our image for visualizing music theory. That just goes to show you that the piano is a universal instrument from which all other instruments can still gain a little bit of knowledge or instruction. Much of what I teach here on the YouTube channel includes things like time signatures, key signatures, harmony, rhythm, tempos. These are terms that I talk about in every video that I put out. And remember, guys, at this point, I'm doing 3 song tutorial lessons a week, separate from these extra videos like the student performances and the Q&A videos. So definitely a lot to be learned on the channel that can be applied to music in general, not just the piano. But keep in mind, of course, that the site is tailored for now to pianists. So much of my specific direction and instruction is about the piano. I appreciate your question, and I'm glad you're watching my lessons, even though you're not on the piano. That's super cool. Let's move on to the next question. This is question number 4 from Ramblin' Bob on my lesson for how to play Don't Stop Believing by Journey. Ramblin' Bob says, you're teaching the song wrong. This one is right. And then he links out to another video for how to play Don't Stop Believing. Okay, so Ramblin' Bob, thank you for your comment, first of all. I wanted to include this comment on here because I'm not just pulling the compliments or the praise to highlight here on the video. I also want to give justification and legitimacy to the people who are writing in with negative comments, and I want to give you a chance to have that conversation with me. So, Ramblin' Bob, thanks for writing in. Let me respond. One thing that we're proud of here at Playground Sessions, Ramblin' Bob, is that we do arrangements of songs in 3 difficulty levels. You probably know this already. We do advanced, intermediate, and rookie. Even at the advanced level, sometimes we do have to make changes. Now, in my last Q&A video, somebody asked about the advanced level classical music. is it the exact score that we know from these composers, or have they been simplified? For classical music, we've tried very hard to do the exact version at the advanced level, but mostly because the recordings that we're familiar with are piano. So we can then do an exact copy on the piano. But when we have a song like Don't Stop Believing, Ramblin' Bob, which also has drums, bass, synthesizers, vocals, guitar, we obviously can't do an exact 100% verbatim copy, right? We've got to make some changes so that we can include some of that stuff in the piano part as well. So what you've commented on is my YouTube lesson for how to play the main riff from our advanced lesson arrangement of Don't Stop Believin'. And I believe that I've got the gist of that part down. I believe I've got more than just the gist. We're playing this whole section. But in the link that you sent, there are a couple of notes that are different. So thank you for pointing out that we've got a couple of different notes here, Ramblin' Bob, than what the version that we're all familiar with has. But I also want to point out one more important thing, something that we're proud of here at Playground Sessions as well. We're not just presenting a song to you to listen to. And Ramblin' Bob, that's the link that you sent. It's just the MIDI rendering through a program called Synthesia. And you've got the notation above as well, which is cool. But that just plays the song from beginning to end. There actually isn't any instruction going on there, right? There's no teaching. So what we do here at Playground Sessions YouTube channel, and what only a select few other channels even do across the entire YouTube space, is teach you how to play a song. So what I'd like to do is plug myself one more time, guys, right? We're here on the YouTube channel, and I'm a piano teacher with 15 years teaching experience, and I've also got a piano degree. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to put videos out teaching in the style that I believe is the best available on YouTube, hands down. Thank you sincerely for your comment. Let's move on to the next one. I think we're on question 5 now. Ooh. Oh. All right, guys, question 5 comes from Stu Last. And Stu writes on my video for Q&A number 1. This is Q&A number 2. Stu watched Q&A number 1 and had a question. So he asked, "Hey Phil, I have a 61 key keyboard. Some have even said that I'm a few keys short of a full piano. Will this prevent me from playing any advanced songs, which you've said are pretty much as written by the composer?" So I'm going to say, Stu, that the advanced level arrangements, for the most part, are true to the recordings. But in classical music, they're going to be a bit harder in general, right? Because those are going to be exact copies of classical piano music. When we get into songs at the advanced level that have drums, guitar, bass, vocals, we're not going to have a 100% exact copy of that recording, right? Because we're just at the piano alone. So what we're doing, as I mentioned, is we're arranging songs for the piano that include the melody, everything else. Because of that, except for classical, we're not really going to have an exact copy. We're more so going to have our advanced level version of songs. But they're still simplified to a degree. And one rule that we've set for ourselves, Stu, on the song team here at Playground Sessions is to keep, when possible, the majority of advanced level arrangements still within a 61 key range. So you lucked out. Your keyboard is just wide enough. That's also true at the intermediate level in the song store as well. For rookie level arrangements, we try to keep stuff within a range of 49 keys. But Stu, you are in luck because unless you're going after a super hard advanced level classical song, for the most part, you're going to be able to play everything in the app, including advanced arrangements with your 61 key keyboard. I will say, however, that if you imagine you'll be playing piano for longer than just a few months, longer than a year, and you want to get better and you feel like you've committed and you're starting to see progress. By the way, I'm starting to see you progress on the Facebook community, Stu. I know you've posted some videos there in the past, and that's been awesome to see. If that's the case, I would recommend thinking about investing in an 88 key keyboard. Eventually, you are going to want the full thing, and you're going to feel a little disappointed if you are able to play a song that requires those keys, but your instrument won't let you. I won't say that you're in a big hurry to get to an 88 key keyboard yet, Stu, if you're still playing in rookie and intermediate level arrangements, but if you're pushing up into advanced stuff and you're starting to feel like you might be getting there soon, consider getting that 88 key when your budgets allow and when you're ready. Thanks for writing, Stu. I appreciate your participation and your comment here, as usual. Let's move on to the next one. Comment number 6 today comes from The Guy 6088 on my video for Popular Music Deconstructed, looking at the 1-4-5 progression. The Guy 6088. There must have been 6,087 other The Guys. You came to the game late, The Guy 6088. Your comment is, almost every song ever written had these chords. It's called the 12-bar blues, ... Nobody has heard of this, ? Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. The Guy 6088, thank you for bringing this up. First, I'll answer your final question here. Nobody has heard of this? You're pretty excited about that question. Definitely people have heard of the 12-bar blues, rest assured. I will also address another point. You say almost every song ever written has these chords. I understand the point you're trying to make. It's very common progression. But let's talk about this a little bit. The 12-bar blues is an example that you bring up of what the 1-4-5 progression is. The 12-bar blues does use the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. That's true. And if we're talking about the 12-bar blues in its most basic form, then we can talk about dominant 7 chords, but we could even strip that away. We're just going to talk about major triads, which is what I was talking about in my 1-4-5 video. Let's talk about the key of C. That would be C major, F major, G major. Okay, that's just 3 chords. So aside from them not having their 7th to make them dominant 7 chords, a 12-bar blues refers to a blues that has a form of 12 measures. And what we're talking about with 1-4-5 is just 3 chords. So we're not really fully describing the 12-bar blues when we say just 1-4-5. We have to talk about what the form is and what order those chords come in. So the 12-bar blues typically goes 1 chord for 1 measure, the 4 chord for the next measure, then back to the 1 chord for 2 measures. So there's 4 measures. Then we go to the 4 chord again, then we go to the 4 chord again, then we go back to the 1 chord, then the 1 chord. So by the time we get to measure 9, the Guy 6088, that's when we hit the 5 chord. So there's 5. Then we hit 4 again. Then we go to the 1 chord again, and then you could either say 1 at the end or another 5, depending on if we're repeating back again. Either way, that gets us to 12 measures of chords. So thank you for bringing up the 12-bar blues. That's different than the 1-4-5, though you are right that it does use those 3 chords. I agree with you. These chords are everywhere. That's why I made this video, right? So I hope you actually watched the video before you commented, because I do say these chords are everywhere, right? That's why I made the video. I wanted to show you that this progression exists across genres, across styles, across decades, right? So I'm glad to see that we share the same outlook on the 1-4-5 chord. Thank you for writing in. Let's keep it moving. I think let's just do one more comment for today's video. This one comes from, excuse my pronunciation if I'm pronouncing this wrong. This one comes from Kanush Akilathasan. And this person writes on my video for How to Play Piano Man by Billy Joel, can you give me a shout out? Shout out. Well guys, that's all the time we have for today for this Q&A video. Thank you for watching Q&A number 2. Keep those comments and questions coming. I hope you can tell that I'm listening, I'm reading the comments, and I'm selecting which ones I want to feature in the next video. So if you hit me with a good one, I may just feature it. Positive and negative are welcome. I hope you guys are seeing that as well. Although I hope, of course, that there are more positives than negatives. But keep the questions and the comments coming. I promise to keep doing these Q&A videos to feature your guys' questions and to keep the dialogue going. I'm Phil, and I'm happy that you guys are subscribed to Playground Sessions YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that red button below. And we're doing all sorts of stuff on the channel, guys. We're doing these Q&A videos now. I'm also going to be featuring our student performance videos a lot more. So you saw the highlight reel that I posted a couple weeks ago. I'm working on the second one now, and I've seen a lot more videos posted since the first one that I posted. So that's great news as well. The community's growing, and it's a ton of fun. So separate from those extra pieces of content, I'm still throwing down the core YouTube lesson song tutorial videos 3 times a week. Not always Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes I'll switch that up a little bit, but you can count on 3 a week. Different styles, different genres, different artists, always breaking it down for you in detail. So if you're loving what we're doing here on the channel, please consider hitting subscribe. And that's about it for this video. I'll see you guys for the next one. Take care.